little bit how we started, and I'm going to talk about the importance of visual content and how that matters for brands and how that resonates with your audience. And then I'm going to move into Instagram because it's the biggest visual platform, like social media platform for visual content, and I'll go through a case study like for Instagram marketing and influencer marketing that we did last year. Cool. So originally I'm from Latvia, as are a couple of guys from the audience as well, which I just met, which is super random. But it's a teeny tiny country, Baltic states. You know, the chances for you guys to meet someone from there are very small, and today you have 3 people, so that's great. But yeah, I came to Scotland to study. I went to university. I graduated from Strathclyde with a business degree, and throughout all the years I've been working in marketing, part-time and full-time, and different agencies and freelance and so on. So it was great. But after graduation I decided to travel because I was very fortunate to get my first freelance client, and they were happy for me to go away and just like do reports you know, once a month and work 4 days a month. Which kept me going and, you know, got me some money to travel. And then I ended up spending half a year in Cambodia. That was 2 years ago. So from a graduate promising and I don't know, some job offers, I became a skinhead on a motorbike, traveling around Asia and doing all sorts of cool things like going to spiritual retreats, teaching in schools, working in bars, working on a remote island in Cambodia as well, where I was doing like sign painting and making logos and things like that. It was completely remote. There was no phone signal, no internet, no electricity. It was like generated by this generator thing. I don't know, but yeah, it was super incredible experience. And I don't know, when you're away from all that noise, then you start thinking about things that are really important in life, and some crazy talents can emerge. Like I started drawing a lot and writing, and that was super interesting. And then I had to go to mainland once a month to do my SEO freelance work. So yeah, it was interesting, but it was so great that, you know, you could stay there forever. It was really addictive, but I decided that, you know, I need to come back to Glasgow because I had a lot of contacts here, and I had my marketing experience, and I had my uni degree, and I had to do something with it. So eventually I came back. Oh, that's like a logo that I drew. Well, actually it's not me who drew it afterwards. I created it, and then it spread like I don't know, a virus. Like everyone was drawing it, and they're still using it for a guest house called Cactus in Kota Kiev Island. So yeah, random. But I came back after all that experience to start an agency and use my skills to, well, because that's what I can do, and also to do good in the world with those skills. Yeah, so and why Wigwam? Because Wigwam is it's like a Native American teepee. I don't know if you know, like kind of tent thing that's, I don't know, you can set up in the nature. It's made of all natural ingredients and, I don't know, tree branches and leathers and fabrics and whatever, and you can take it from one place and put it on the top of a mountain and then move to another place, put it, I don't know, in the forest, and it's like your little house. So Wigwam is our little kind of digital house where we come together. We work in our Glasgow office, and we work with a few freelancers from all over the world. So Wigwam is kind of our little kind of house that keeps us together. So yeah, like when I came back, I pretty much got in touch with the best people I knew, like my friends who are like just incredible guys and girls, which you don't see there yet. But yeah, and like I trained them up to, you know, to kind of do and help with client work and do all the marketing. Yeah, and that's how Wigwam started. That's like 2 years ago, pretty much exactly. So I started pretty much at the backyard in West End of Glasgow. And our kind of initial ethos was to explore, because we're crazy travelers and we like our freedom, so we travel a lot. and go places. And also it goes back to marketing as well. We like to explore some deep ideas and ways to promote businesses in a meaningful way. And then we create, especially like visual content and social media campaigns and videos and so on. And whatever we do, we try to inspire people. And we tried initially to inspire people to travel, and now we're inspiring people to do good in the world. Okay, here's a quick video. Like how we started, and it was like pretty messy. Like we didn't really know what we're doing as an agency, but we knew what we like. We like traveling, we like creating pictures and videos and talking about environmental stuff. So I'll show you just a quick video. And yeah, so we didn't know what we're doing, but we traveled and worked with influencers and small companies. Like this is a company, View from Slow Lane. And we got together with people who care about environment and who are creatives, and we just went camping and taking pictures for different brands all over Scotland. And that was, a lot of cool trips, a lot of camping food, and met amazing photographers and creatives all over Scotland. And the idea was to kind of try and pull them all together so we can promote Scotland as a cool place to see. And yeah, and we promote it in a creative way. And most of the work we never got paid. We just did it because we like it, and we want more people to see Scotland that way. I'll just skip a bit because it goes forever. And this is the second video, which is like now that we're a bit more focused. So you can see that. I don't know how to get louder. Okay. It's a bit cringy towards the end, but because I've seen it so many times. But yeah, basically we're an agency that tries to work with good brands and charities and so on, and good companies in general. Not necessarily non-for-profits or anything like that, but just companies that they have their integrity, they have their values, and they're not doing business mainly for money, but they have some sort of a bigger idea underneath. Okay, and we're especially kind of focused on travel and outdoors businesses. Well, we used to, but in reality, like I think most of our clients are everything but travel and outdoors. But travel and outdoors is just something that we really like to do, and. So you saw a lot of kind of visual content, and that's what we normally do, whether it's paid or not paid. And yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because, well, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Because a picture can have a full story in it, and a video can say even more than that. So a lot of marketing is like focused on, writing long blog posts or talking about the features of your product and how good it is and how it's better than the competition. But something more simple sometimes can go way further. And some of the biggest brands in the world, they don't really talk about how great Nike shoes are or how good the material is. They talk about values and they tell stories of, like in Nike's case, like about great people and success and what you can achieve. Or Apple talks about thinking different and how there's a genius in everyone who challenges the status quo and all that. So visual content does matter, especially if it's combined with a good story underneath. And that's why for us as a marketing agency, we use Instagram a lot. because we find that we can not only post a picture, but we can also tell a good story in the caption with it, and we can engage with followers, tag people, go on trips and so on. And we find it resonates with the kind of people we want to attract. And surprisingly enough, like sometimes we even get business from from Instagram, although we only kind of share for ourselves. We pretty much just share like nature pictures from our friends or people we worked with, or maybe some randoms who just travel to Scotland, and some pictures from our own trips. And we just talk about, I don't know, environment and cool places to visit in Scotland, because who knows why? Because that this is what we're like, and we want to talk about it. So we do that. We don't do what other agencies are doing, which is, here's what we had for lunch, or I don't know, like, hey, here's a party. We're just more like, hey, we're camping in Glencoe this weekend. So we're that sort of an agency. And again, like, this is some boring data about Instagram, but Instagram is by far the most engaging social media platform. 58 times more engagement per follower than Facebook, and 120 times more than Twitter. And that's pretty much the power of visual content, plus their crazy algorithms and all that. Yeah, so talk about something that's worth talking about, and then it will spread. Like in a year and a half, we've gotten to 11,000 followers and like crazy engagement. Like we get more than 1,000 likes quite often. And we haven't really done any marketing. We just post stuff that we like, and that's it. And I'll talk about influencer marketing as well, because that's a great way to scale your Instagram efforts. Because basically you get people promoting your business or brand very quickly. They have, especially micro-influencers with very high engagement rates. If they post about you, you always get a few followers straight away. So engagement is one thing. Second is that they will create content for you, which is always really high quality content, depending on the influencers. Especially if you find someone in your niche, really talented photographer, like they can create amazing stuff for your business, and it's not going to cost you very much. So the return on investment is usually pretty good. That's why all major brands, major fashion brands, like really they have their own influencer kind of, how would you say, team, like in the marketing department to just do it properly. And scalability is another thing. For example, if you're doing just product giveaway campaigns, or you can even do, like, if you're a tourism business, you could give away some tours. They come on a tour, they take some pictures about your customers, with your staff, and about the trip, and they post it on their social media, and that doesn't have to cost you anything. It's just a small giveaway, or sometimes a small payment, and you can reach a very large audience. Like, we usually work with influencers who have 10 to 100,000 followers with 5 to 10% engagement. So they're still called micro-influencers, because we feel that for micro-influencers, the audience is more, how would you say, they're more tight with the influencer, and then the engagement is always, it's real most of the times, and the followers are more interested in what the guy actually has to say. Well, for a lot of big accounts, the engagement is much lower, and they don't really care what the guy is saying. Whoop. Okay, cool. So, and in Scotland, there's a massive community of outdoors influencers. Like, I don't know if you heard of the Highland Collective, which Alistair is from as well, at the back. But it's a cool collective of some of Scotland's nicest kind of photographers who just constantly go on trips and take pictures, and we've done some work with them, and Ali and Merlin, who are part of it, like also pretty much has worked or still work for us and help organize campaigns for clients. So, and they work with a lot of big brands, and Ali, for example, just worked with National Geographic, and like, yeah, it's influencer marketing basically is a big thing. I don't know if you've heard of it, but yeah. And just some quick tips on how to succeed in Instagram is You have to be authentic. You can't copy anyone else because there's too much stuff out there. It's a very noisy world on social media. So if you're not different, you don't get noticed. There's no point of doing things kind of halfway and just ticking the box and like, oh yeah, we do social media. We post, I don't know, 2 times a week, some stuff. Like it's not going to scale. It's not going to get liked. And it's pretty much almost waste of time. I would say rather either don't do anything or do it like put like full effort on it. You need high quality imagery because that is what gets shared and talked about and that's what scales. You need to work with influencers because that will help to grow your accounts much quicker. These are just my few cents of marketing knowledge. And you have to tell a story in every picture and yeah. And another thing is the cohesive brand presence. So you have to say pretty much the same way throughout your feed, like similar pictures or similar editing or similar tone of voice, things like that I'll talk about in a bit. Cool. And you do want to talk about your product and because you want some clients, customers, or you want to sell your product if it's, I don't know, outdoors gear. But you have to be very clever on how you tie it in the social media because people don't like being sold stuff. And there are clever ways of doing it. Like, for example, these are just a few pictures that we found and some are ours as well, where there is a product in the picture or the product is the lifestyle or the product is the jacket or a sleeping bag or a tent, but it's sold in a kind of amazing way, in an inspiring way. Product is even in the background, and what you really see is all this inspiring scenery that kind of sells the product without you even telling like, hey, buy this tent. They will buy the tent because, I don't know, they like the Milky Way or something, for example. Okay. And if you're creating your own visual identity, I had like 15 slides about my color theory, but basically you want the similar editing throughout the feed. So you have like the same brown tones or blue tones, and your brand gets recognized. Obviously here you see a lot of outdoors pictures, but it could be really anything. If you have a factory, it could be pictures from factory, but just edit in the same way, same tone of voice, and so on. And that will help you grow for sure. And last year we did a campaign for Trespass. I guess everyone's heard of them. It's outdoors brand from Scotland. Yeah, and we did a 3-month Instagram campaign, and we went on trips to Faroes and many trips in Scotland and all over the place. And we created content for their Instagram with their products, and we wrecked a lot of their products, but it was worth it. So we went to like really crazy extreme points and almost killing ourselves a few times, but it was worth it. And here are just kind of some collages. Do you say collages in English? Yeah, like mosaics or whatever. Yeah, so this one's from Faroes, and you can see that like it's a similar style, especially because it's the same place. And then the next one is from a trip on Cobbler. It was literally just one evening we went up because the weather was good, and we created some pictures and videos from it, and literally took us just nothing really. We just went camping there, and we actually made some of the best content for Trespass for the campaign. Just lucky with the weather. And then we went on an influencer trip with northwest of Scotland. We invited, I think, 6 influencers to come with us, and we sponsored the trip, and we gave them gear, and we just went on a trip and made content together with them, and that was really cool. And that's another kind of collage from that trip. So again, you see the same kind of tones. You see the greens and reds and all that, and if you put all that in the feed, kind of picture by picture, it looks really like it's one brand, and then people can recognize it when they see it, I hope. So there's a quick video. Oh, this is from the Cobbler trip. Look. So we started making these just small videos for Instagram stories. I don't know if you know. Just kind of out of boredom, like we didn't get paid for them. But you know, we actually made some cool pictures on the side, and we were like, well, maybe we should take this video thing a bit further on. So we made quite a lot of videos in the end, and we used them as stories, and actually the engagement was like fantastic. Like towards the end we were getting more than 1,000 views per story. Yeah, I don't know how, but it does work, you know. Okay, that's enough, right? Okay, and there's another one from another trip. It was literally just a day trip. Oh no, 2-day trip. Okay, here we have to mute it. Okay, I'm not too sure about copyrights for that song. But yeah, just we are taking pictures, and another guy, Michael, is just filming around, and actually like those videos got a lot of attention through stories. They got suggested in the location and stuff or something, and also got thousands of views as well. And it was just the most miserable day in Scotland. It was raining all night, and you know, the pictures weren't that great, but we made this. It's raining, and you can't really see it, but fire was keeping us warm, and that's it. It was a horrible trip, but we made a good video out of it. Like, and you know, you never know. Let's move on. So, like for video stories, we got like over 10,000 views just for the stories, and more than 1,000, I think, on average. So we made a few videos as a joke, but then we started making videos just kind of like, well, maybe we can talk about values and other things, and inspire people to travel, and talk about like how nature can be good for people, and you know. So after those few video stories, we started working with influencers, and we started creating more of kind of storyline videos, but I'm not going to show them because they're a bit too long. Like we've got one from Finland, a man talking about, I don't know, what nature means to a Finnish person, and then you see trespass stuff in the background. So, and then we did an influencer marketing, a small campaign, just I think 10 or 11 people, and it was product only. We didn't pay anyone. Everyone was happy to do it, and we got like also crazy engagement and really good high quality content, and we just gave away some gear. And you know, many people will say no to that because you know it's not much, and at that level, like many of them like get paid for most of the work, but some of them were friends, some of them you know, they just liked because we asked nicely or something, I don't know, but we got a lot of really amazing people to create content for us. That's just a few of them, and they got thousands of likes. All of them had over 10,000 followers, and that content we put on the feed as well, and it worked really well. And they're tagging trespass and the captions, and yeah, it was a good campaign. And like all of those pictures were taken by some of the influencers as well. And even though it's like completely diverse people with that different styles, like in the end it kind of came together like with a similar feel, you know, and it blended in the original feed together with our pictures. And with every of those pictures, we can tell a story, or the influencer says a bit about his trip and how the gear helped him, you know, get to the, peak of the mountain or something like that. So it was super cool, good campaign. And we reached almost 500,000 people, and the engagement was 22.3 thousand likes and comments. And straight after that, we got roughly, we calculated something like 500 followers, 350 to 500 followers on top of what they had within like a week. So yeah, that was fun. But I mean, you can read a bit about it. We have a full case study of this, you know, and it talks about how to build a relationship and how the influencers go above and beyond, and they pretty much always over-deliver, in my experience. And we got a lot of really good comments on the feed as well, really good feedback. Okay, and then in the end, like again, I talked earlier about the brand identity, and like here again, you can see how it all flows together. And some of them are user-generated pictures, some are from our trips, and none are influencer ones here, but it looks like it's one company, one brand, one idea behind it, and kind of, you know, something like that. Cool. And then there's another video which I need to mute. Or no, I don't need to mute this one, do I? So for copyright purposes on the live stream, this is gonna get muted because there's a super cool song underneath that I can't showcase. But this is also kind of like fan-made video that we made with the influencer trip, with the influencer that we took to northwest of Scotland. That's the last thing I'm going to show you guys. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay, we good? Okay. Where's the sound? Well, maybe you're not going to hear the sound. Yeah, okay, there's no sound. Right, so that's the video from the trip. It's a lot of drone footage. And just the people, the influencers that came on the trip. They're taking content for the campaign, we're taking content for the campaign, having loads of fun, doing hikes and walks and swimming in waterfalls and going to castles and all that. Yeah, and I know we have a lot of fun while we do this stuff, and you know, as the influencers. That's me, sorry. And it's great with the music. You can check it on YouTube. But yeah, that's really what we do. We do all sorts of things like websites and SEO and PPC, but this is what we really like to do. To go places and take cool content that tells a story for a brand or charity or whatever. Yeah, it's in Tordon, and we got lost in the mountains because suddenly there was a fog. And in the worst weather, you still can make a cool little video. Ta-da! And that's the end of it. Yeah, cool. Well, I hope you got something out of it. Cool. Boom. Oh, that's me.